Alright guys, welcome back to the next video in our DaVinci Resolve training. Today we have a very interesting topic where we are going to be talking about Fairlight FX or Audio FX, and then I'm going to show you guys some fast timeline creation stuff too while we're at it, and go ahead and knock these two out, okay? So let's go ahead and jump right into the software and let's go ahead and get started. So here we are in DaVinci Resolve, picking up where we left off, and we obviously have this timeline, and now we're going to need to create a new timeline. Now I've actually been doing a fast timeline creation in the past couple videos. I just haven't really brought it to you guys' attention. But yes, you can actually create a timeline very quickly by simply going to a clip and dragging it and dropping it into the timeline area. Okay, so let's go ahead and exit off of this one right here by hitting the X and just drag and drop, and it automatically created a new timeline called 7. Okay, if we exit off of this one, we drag and drop a clip, boom, now, ooh, my cat just scared the mess out of me. So you guys can see now that it created timeline number 8. Okay, so of course she wants to be in the video now of all these trainings. As you guys create timelines or bring clips into a timeline, it creates a new one. So this is how you can really make really quick timelines. As you can see, we now have timeline 9, and yeah, it's pretty cool. There's one other thing too I want to show you with timelines while we're talking about it. And when you see a timeline here on the tab, let's say you want to find where it is and you want to make the changes to it. Well, if you right click on it and you go to find in media pool, now you can see timeline 9 right here. So let's actually go somewhere else and I can show you guys how that can kind of jump you to that timeline detail. So if you see right here, you can right click on it, find a media pool, and here you can see it took us straight to where timeline number 9 is. And then you can right click on that and go into timeline settings. By clicking here, you can now see you can do the uncheck your box like we've learned before and make your changes to your resolution, and you can do a lot of other things too, like change the video format and things of that nature. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and create a new timeline. So let's get into a fresh one here, and I'm gonna show you guys some audio effects. So obviously you're gonna need some video or some type of music or some type of sound so that you guys can really see these audio effects that we're going to be applying. Okay, so definitely feel free to go ahead and bring in a song or anything of that nature that you can get. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring in a song. You're going to need some audio or something where you can really kind of work with the audio and really hear these effects that we're going to be applying. Okay, so I'm going to go over here to my properties window here on my inspector and turn down the volume, and let's make sure we can hear it. So here's our music. Alright, so now what we want to do is we want to add an effect on here. Okay, so let's go ahead and go down to our effects, which is actually here on the left hand side. And if you don't see this, all you need to do is go up here to the top and select effects, and that will toggle this off and on. Okay, and one of the main effects that I'm going to recommend that you guys start playing around with first is go ahead and start playing around with the reverb. I think reverb is a really good one. It's a really good way to end off a song, so that way it's not like a hard ending, but it kind of trails a little bit. I like to think of reverb like giving a song room or air. It gives it just a lot of air. Okay, so listen to this song right now. Okay, now let's go ahead and add reverb on there by dragging and dropping it, just like we do a video effects. And if you go up here and hit, or if you just hit the space bar now on your keyboard, you can just play again. Oh, and by the way, when you have a window like this that pulls up, that effects window, you can actually drag in and drop it by grabbing up here, and you can just move it here, and that way you can get to your timeline again and replay the result of that effect that you've put on. Okay, now let's go and hit play. Pretty neat, right? I gave it a whole new sound. So if you pull that back and you go ahead and hit reverb off, you can hear the original by clicking this little switch right here. Off, or off and then on, off and then on. So you can toggle those off and on. Okay, so let's go ahead and toggle this off so that we can hear the original. And we're gonna turn it on now. So you can kind of create an atmosphere or like a real life environment of how music would sound in a venue or a location. So that's just one use case I could think of with reverb and how you can get it to get more realistic sounding acoustics. Okay, so let me try to show you another effect that I think you guys are gonna really like too. Okay, So let's go ahead and go up here to the top of this window, and let's drag this over here, and let's go ahead and hit this little X button so we can exit off of this. And just like removing effects from a video clip, you can do a click on the audio clip, and then you can go over here to effects, and then you can go right over here to the trash can, and then you can actually hit the trash can and delete the reverb, and we should be back to normal. Alright, so now what we're going to do is go over here to the left hand side now. We're going to go to the multi-band compressor. Okay, this one's pretty interesting. So we're going to drag and drop this one on here as well, like such. And then of course our window appears. And we're going to go ahead and move this one up here like that. And let's go ahead and play the song and watch what you'll notice here with this red band, okay? So you see how the most dominant part of the song, it puts the sounds and the song into, you know, sections of or ranges, and so you can actually affect those different ranges by just dragging and dragging these little knobs here, okay? And you can also define the end range as well in the high range. And the reason why you want to select these different ranges, because these ranges correspond to these different bands, which are here: band 1, band 2, band 3, band 4. Okay, so let's say for example I wanted to turn up the high portion of the song, this right here. Well, since that is technically band 4, I could just turn the ratio up, and of course, or actually the threshold, and now you can see that it goes up, and the gain, and so on and so forth. And so you see how we're only affecting things in just that range. So let's say for example you wanted a song to have a little bit more bass, right? We're getting kind of into music production too a little bit here, but let's start this back, and let's say we wanted to have a little bit more bass. So we're going to go over to band 1, and we're going to turn up band 1, which is, or range 1 or section 1, which is this here. This is section 2, section 3, section 4, right? So band 1 or section 1, okay, basically up to this band, the first one. And we're going to go ahead and crank that bass up, and let's see how the song sounds now. So it didn't affect it that much because there really isn't any bass here, but if we take this range and make it longer and turn it up like that, you might hear a difference now. There we go. Now we got a lot more bass, right? So yeah, so those are just different effects there, and I just figured I would show that to you guys. You know, what if you have somebody that has a really high-pitched voice, and maybe they're in a certain range and you want to kind of bring everything to a certain level? Of course, you can use a multi-band compressor to kind of do that, okay? And in these effects, there are these little defaults right here. You can see this says default, but they have these little built-in ones too, and most of the effects will have that drop down. And of course, you can actually add your own custom one and then name it whatever you like, and then save a preset in case you wanted to reuse a certain effect over and over and over, okay? So that is pretty much Audio FX in a nutshell. Definitely feel free to play around with all these on the left hand side and see our, you know, different combinations and see how they all sound. And I think that you guys will find this to be really interesting. Okay, we got some more audio stuff down the pipeline, but I figure I'll go ahead and call that one a wrap, as there are a lot of different things you can do with those effects, obviously, as you get into different ones and you get into the different windows and parameters of what you can do. So either way, guys, I hope you guys are having a great night, and I will go ahead and end the video right here, and we'll see you guys tomorrow on the next one. See ya.